You wake up tired, not just in your body, but in your spirit. You move more slowly, the world feels heavier, and somehow the number of pills on your table keeps growing, but your energy doesn't. You used to bounce back after a long day, a restless night, or a small ache. But now, the recovery takes longer. The fatigue lingers. Even laughter feels like something you have to remember how to do. You tell yourself it's just age. Everyone over 60 feels this way. But deep down, something in you whispers, this can't be the only way to live. What if your body isn't breaking down? What if it's just asking for your attention? The truth is, the body never stops trying to heal. It rebuilds cells every night. It fights for balance every morning. But healing can't happen when your life is too loud to hear its signals. The joint pain that keeps you up at night, the heart that beats too fast when you're stressed, the fatigue that doesn't leave even after rest. They're not signs of failure, they're messages. You don't stop healing because you age. You age because you stop listening. And when you stop listening, the whispers become symptoms. And the symptoms become stories your doctor can't quite explain. So here's the real question. If your body still remembers how to heal, what made it forget? The answer isn't in your blood tests or your prescriptions. It's somewhere much deeper in your state of mind. And that's where our journey begins. 1. The real reason healing slows after 60, the mind that forgot to rest. You've probably heard people say, it's just old age, as if pain, fatigue, and forgetfulness are nature's punishment for surviving too long. But here's the truth no one tells you. It's not time that's wearing you down, it's tension. Every year of worry adds a small weight to the shoulders. Every sleepless night tightens the jaw a little more. Every unspoken fear about the future settles quietly in the chest. And slowly, without realizing it, you stop living in your body and start living in your mind. You see, the body doesn't grow old first. The mind does. Your thoughts, the constant what-ifs, the regrets, the fears, send tiny signals through your nervous system every second. And those signals become chemistry. They become inflammation. They become exhausted. The Buddha once said, your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. That wasn't philosophy, it was biology. Because every thought you repeat becomes a command to your body. When you say, I'm so tired, your body obeys. When you think, I'm falling apart, your cells listen. And when you spend years carrying invisible tension, your muscles, joints, and organs all begin to echo that story. Most people think healing is physical. Take the pill, do the therapy, fix the symptom. But the truth is simpler and more ancient. The mind drives the body, and a restless mind creates a restless body. Let me share a story. In the mountains of Japan, I once met an elderly monk named Tetsuo. He was 92, his hands soft and steady, his posture tall and calm. Every morning he swept the temple path with slow, graceful strokes. No rush, no strain, just rhythm. When someone asked him the secret to living without pain, he smiled and said, I rest, even when I'm awake. He didn't mean laziness, he meant presence. He had learned the art of releasing mental tension before it reached his muscles. When pain arose, he didn't tighten, he softened. When worries came, he didn't fight them. He watched them pass. His body stayed free because his mind had learned how to rest. Contrast that with most of us. Even when we sit still, our thoughts run marathons. We replay the past. We worry about tomorrow. We resist what's happening now. And this constant motion, unseen, unmeasured, drains more life force than any physical work ever could. You can eat well, exercise, take your supplements, but if your mind never rests, your body never truly repairs. Because healing can't happen in a state of survival. So pause for a moment and ask yourself, when was the last time your mind felt quiet, not distracted by screens or to-do lists or pain, just still? You might realize it's been years, but that's not a reason to despair. It's an invitation to begin again. Because if stress can shut your body down, then peace can turn it back on. And peace doesn't come from pills or perfect habits. It comes from remembering the wisdom your body was born with, the rhythm of breath, the grace of stillness, the natural balance that aging can never steal. So how do we remember that rhythm again? How do we teach the body to feel safe enough to heal? It starts with the most ancient medicine of all, the breath. Let's explore that next. 2. The forgotten healer within. You've spent a lifetime trying to fix yourself. Pills, diets, doctors, routines. You've treated your body like a broken machine that needs constant repair. But here's the truth no one ever told you. Your body was never broken. It's a garden, and it's been waiting for sunlight. Every organ, every cell, every heartbeat carries ancient intelligence. Your body knows how to heal. It's been doing it since the day you were born. It closes wounds. It repairs tissue. It adjusts to changes in weather, in food, in emotion. Healing is its natural language, but somewhere along the way, you stopped speaking it. You began to live in your head, analyzing, worrying, controlling, and forgot that the body doesn't respond to control. It responds to care. You see, healing isn't an act of willpower. It's an act of surrender. It happens not when you try harder, but when you let go. In Zen, healing is described as returning to one's original nature. That means beneath the pain, beneath the fatigue, beneath the stories, there is still a part of you untouched by time, untouched by illness, untouched by fear. That is your true nature. And the moment your mind becomes still, the body begins to remember it. Let me tell you a story. A young student once came to a Zen master and said, "Master, I've had chronic pain for years. I've tried everything, herbs, medicine, meditation. Nothing works. How do I heal?" The master smiled gently and replied, "Sit still until the pain becomes your teacher." The student thought this sounded absurd, but out of respect, he obeyed. He sat, not to escape, but to listen. He felt the ache rise and fall like waves. He noticed the heat in his joints, the pulse behind his breath, and for the first time, he stopped fighting it. The next morning, he returned to the master and said, "Something has changed. The pain hasn't vanished, but it feels softer." The master nodded. "Of course, you stopped making it the enemy." That's the secret most of us forget. You can't heal what you hate, and you can't soothe what you keep resisting. Every breath you take with awareness tells your cells, "You're safe now." And in safety, the body opens its gates, circulation improves, digestion calms, the heart rhythm evens. Science calls it parasympathetic activation. Zen calls it coming home. When you stop treating your body like a battlefield and start treating it like a beloved friend, you'll notice something miraculous. It begins to respond differently. The same way a flower leans toward light, your body leans toward peace. Maybe your healing hasn't stalled because you're doing too little. Maybe it's because you've been doing too much, forcing, fixing, chasing, when all it needed was stillness. So tonight, instead of asking, "How do I get rid of this pain?" ask gently, "What are you trying to teach me?" Sit, breathe, listen, because when you stop fighting, you begin to hear. And when you listen deeply, something beautiful happens. You start to understand the body's true language. Not words, not chemicals, not commands, but nourishment. The quiet energy that feeds every cell, every breath, every heartbeat. And that's where we're heading next. Because once you've remembered your inner healer, you must learn how to feed it. Let's talk about the kind of nourishment that doesn't come from your plate, but from your peace. 3. Nourishment beyond food. Feeding life with breath and stillness. We often think nourishment is about what we put on our plates, the vitamins, the supplements, the superfoods. But what if true nourishment has less to do with what you eat and more to do with how you live while you're eating it? You can eat organic meals, drink green juices, follow every rule, but if you swallow your food in stress, worry, or loneliness, your body can't receive the gift. Because digestion doesn't begin in the stomach, it begins in the mind. It's not just what you eat, it's what eats at you. Every anxious thought, every unspoken resentment, every rushed breath, they all consume energy that could have gone toward healing. After 60, your body doesn't need more fuel. It needs less friction. The older you get, the more the body craves lightness. In food, in movement, in thought. This healing after 60 isn't about adding more. It's about releasing what's heavy. Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "When you eat with mindfulness, your food becomes prayer." He wasn't being poetic, he was being practical. Because when you eat slowly, with awareness, you allow your body to receive nourishment as presence, not pressure. Every chew becomes gratitude. Every bite becomes healing. So the first teaching is simple. Simplify your meals. You don't need complicated diets. You need calm digestion, eat real food, eat slowly, and eat in silence sometimes. Not as deprivation, but as devotion. Second, breathe slower. Your breath is nutrition for your nervous system. Each inhale carries oxygen to your cells. Each exhale releases what no longer serves you. If you breathe fast, you send a message to your body, "I'm in danger." If you breathe slowly, you whisper instead, "I'm safe now." And only safety allows healing. Third, rest often, not out of laziness, but reverence. Rest is not doing nothing. It's doing everything that matters. It's when your heart repairs, your mind resets, your cells regenerate. Even monks nap after meals. Even the earth rests between seasons. Stillness, my friend, is the meal your nervous system has been starving for. When you permit yourself to stop, even for 5 minutes a day, your whole body exhales. Blood pressure softens. Muscles loosen. The fog in your mind begins to clear. You remember what it feels like to simply be alive without having to prove it. And here's the beautiful paradox. The quieter you become, the more energy you gain. Because stillness is not empty, it's full of life. It's the same stillness that allows a seed to sprout beneath the soil, unseen but unstoppable. So tonight, try this. Before your next meal, pause. Take one slow breath. Look at your food, not as fuel, but as a blessing, and whisper, "May this meal bring peace to every part of me." Because nourishment is not only for the body, it's also for the soul that's been starving for simplicity. But nourishment alone isn't enough. You can eat clean, breathe deeply, rest beautifully, and still feel something heavy inside. Something that food can't touch and rest can't dissolve. That heaviness is emotional weight, grief, regret, guilt. The quiet burdens you've carried for decades. And until those are released, healing can't fully stay. So let's go deeper now. Let's look at what's really sitting heavy in your heart and learn how to finally set it free. 4. Releasing emotional weight, healing the wounds time couldn't touch. You think your body's heavy because of age, but sometimes it's heavy because of everything you never let yourself feel. The truth is, pain doesn't just live in the muscles. It hides in memories, in unspoken words, in moments you told yourself to stay strong when what you really needed was to cry. You can stretch, take pills, do therapy, but if your heart is clenched, your body will always follow. Because what the mind hides, the body reveals. Sometimes your back doesn't hurt because you're old. It hurts because you've been carrying too much. Your shoulders ache not from posture, but from the invisible weight of everyone you've held up through the years. Your children, your parents, your spouse. Your chest feels tight, not because of weak lungs, but because of the love you never got to express and the grief you never permitted to breathe. The Buddha once said, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. But anger isn't the only poison. So are guilt, regret, and unspoken sorrow. Every emotion you don't allow to move through you turns into something that moves within you. Inflammation, fatigue, stiffness, illness. Because emotion, energy in motion was never meant to be trapped. Let me tell you a story. A retired mother once came to a meditation retreat. She'd suffered from severe back pain for almost 20 years. Doctors called it arthritis. Therapists called it tension. But deep down, she called it her punishment for not being stronger after her husband passed. During the third day of silent sitting, something shifted. Her breathing deepened, her jaw softened, and suddenly tears began to fall. Tears she hadn't allowed herself to cry in 2 decades. When the teacher asked what she felt, she whispered, "The pain began the year he died. I never let myself grieve. I carried him on my spine." For the first time, her pain had a voice, and the moment it was heard, it began to loosen its grip. You don't need to fix the pain. You need to free it. Because the body isn't your enemy. It's your messenger, patiently repeating what your heart tried to say long ago. Every ache has a story. Every tight muscle has a memory. Every sleepless night is a cry for softness. And when you finally sit with those feelings, without trying to analyze or escape them, something miraculous happens. The energy begins to move again. Maybe your tears become the medicine your body was waiting for. Maybe forgiveness for yourself, for someone else, becomes the breath that opens your chest again. Because forgiveness isn't about forgetting. It's about unclenching the fist around your own heart. Healing is not about becoming lighter overnight. It's about putting down what was never yours to carry. The grief of others, the expectations, the mistakes were simply human. So tonight, instead of asking, "Why does this hurt?" ask softly, "What have I been holding that's ready to be released?" You might find that the ache in your lower back isn't your body failing you. It's your body finally speaking to you. When the heart releases what it's been holding, energy begins to flow again. And when energy flows, movement becomes medicine. Because the body was never meant to be still with pain, it was meant to dance with life. Let's move there, together. Let's explore how movement, gentle, mindful, and sacred, becomes the next doorway to healing. 5. Moving like nature, the Zen secret to staying supple. After 60, there's a silent truth most people forget after 60. It's not the years that make you stiff, it's the stillness. When you stop moving, The body doesn't just lose strength, it loses rhythm. And when rhythm fades, life itself begins to slow inside you. Even water becomes stone when it stops flowing. We've been taught that movement must be exercise, loud, intense, measurable. But Zen monks have always known a different way. They do not move to burn calories, but to stay connected to life. Their secret isn't in effort, it's in awareness. There's an old story about a 90-year-old monk who swept the temple courtyard every morning. One day, a young novice asked him, "Master, you are so old. Why do you still sweep every day?" The monk smiled, his broom gliding gently across the stone. "As long as I move with awareness," he said, "life moves through me." He wasn't trying to stay fit, he was staying alive, in every sense of the word. You see, the body heals through flow, not force. When you move gently, consciously, with breath, the energy that once sat stagnant in your joints begins to circulate again. Tension softens, pain loosens. The body remembers how to trust itself. You don't need to move fast, you just need to move with life. Try walking slowly after meals, not as exercise but as meditation. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Feel your steps as a conversation between you and the world that supports you. Each step says, "I am still here." Each breath whispers, "I am part of everything that moves." Move with the breath, not against it. When you inhale, let your arms rise like the tide. When you exhale, let them fall like leaves returning to earth. Let your breath be the teacher, slow, steady, patient. Because the moment your movement matches your breathing, your nervous system begins to calm. Stretch while listening to silence, not to reach further, but to feel deeper. You'll notice that your body doesn't want to be forced. It wants to be invited. It doesn't want noise. It wants attention. And in that quiet attention, you rediscover the same miracle the monks live by. Movement is not about control. It's about communion. Look at nature. Nothing in the forest rushes, yet everything grows. The river doesn't struggle to flow, yet it shapes mountains. The leaves don't hold on, yet they return every spring. Your body is not separate from this rhythm. It is this rhythm. When you align your movements with that natural flow, when each gesture becomes a prayer, each step a meditation, your body begins to feel lighter. The stiffness that once felt permanent begins to melt. Not because the years reversed, but because resistance did. There's a quiet joy that returns when you move without measuring, without proving, without rushing. It's the joy of being alive inside your own skin again. So today, move softly. Sweep your yard. Water your plants. Stretch your arms toward the morning light. Do it with attention. Do it with breath. Do it like the monk who never stopped sweeping. Not because he feared aging, but because he understood that as long as life flows, so do we. And when your body and breath begin to move in harmony, you'll feel it, a deeper rhythm calling you home. That rhythm isn't in time, it's in spirit. And spirit, when awakened, brings something far more powerful than motion. It brings meaning. Let's explore that next. The quiet power that keeps the heart alive long after the body slows. Your purpose. You don't need more years. You need more presence in the years you have. So many people spend their final decades chasing youth. New diets, new routines, new cures. But peace has never been something you could chase. It's what appears the moment you stop running. Healing was never about reversing time. It was about remembering who you are beneath it. The quiet, eternal awareness that has watched you grow, stumble, break, and rise again. The body may wrinkle, but the soul only deepens. At 60, 70, 80, you are not declining. You are refining. You are becoming softer where you once were hard, wiser where you once were afraid, and freer where you once were bound. Your body's not your enemy. It's your oldest friend, the one who has carried you through every storm, every heartbreak, every sunrise you thought you'd never see. It has been waiting all this time, not for perfection, but for your presence. You are not too late to heal. You are right on time. So take a deep breath. Whisper, I still have time to heal. Let that truth rest inside you, not as hope, but as certainty. Because healing doesn't end with medicine. It begins when you finally come home, to your body, to your breath, to yourself. If this message touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe, so more souls can remember that peace is not lost with age. It's found the moment you stop searching and simply listen within.